It's a good day for everybody else besides the 5 people on Twitter. Twitter's stock crashed 20%. The sales of the social media site crashed 20% despite Twitter recording for credit quota earnings sold revenue blowing away the consensus. Well, we all know Twitter is a horrible site, and no one wants to use Twitter. We all know only the people who use Twitter are our celebrities and the 5 people on Twitter. Those are the only people who use Twitter. Our celebrities and the 5 people on Twitter and YouTubers trying to promote the YouTube channel on Twitter. Duh. Those are the only people who use Twitter at basically only 10% of users account for most of Twitter. Basically, the, woke Twitter and celebrities, basically, and YouTubers that, post actively on there. So what's the problem with Twitter? Well, no one wants to use Twitter because Twitter sucks. Twitter is garbage, okay? Twitter basically is changing our culture, the world, not just our culture, the world culture for the worst. Okay, they're changing it. They're changing, movies, games, TV shows to suit them. You know why The Last of Us Part 2 sucks so much? Well, guess who you can blame? Twitter. Ghostbusters 2016. Twitter. All of the, race bending and stuff that has been happening with Hollywood over the years. Where we place, Twitter's 3 white characters or gender bending characters, Ghostbusters 2016, many more movies. And of course, it's not all bad. There are some good roles that have come out of it, like the MCU, Nick Fury, obviously, and of course the Equalizer movies. But most of it usually results into basically this complete mess. Let's look at any woke movie of 2017, 2018 to 2019 to 2020. All those movies were not successful except for the ones made by Disney. Okay? And you know why? Because people are sick of Twitter deciding every single thing with our culture. Everybody has to side of these people or else they might feel getting canceled by Twitter, by these people who just sit around and probably cry about, someone dancing. They cry and whine about someone dancing. They try to cancel a bean company, a Mexican company for supporting the president. They try to cancel, celebrities for having the wrong opinion. Yep. They'll try to silence you if you don't have the right opinion on a movie. If you don't like a certain movie, Captain Marvel, The Last Jedi, The Last of Us Part 2, even though that's not a movie, but that still pertains in that part. Okay? People don't like the Captain Marvel. People don't like The Last of Us Part 2. People don't like The Last Jedi. Even though they sold well, nobody really cared for them. The movies don't really sell well now. People don't remember Captain Marvel fondly a year later. No one's going to remember The Last of Us Part 2 besides, of course, the critics, fondly a year from now. And no one is going to remember. No one remembers The Last Jedi fondly. We all know of that. The sequel trilogy of Star Wars was ruined by The Last Jedi. Yeah. And you wonder why Twitter is losing. There are alternatives to Twitter now that are becoming much, much more popular. And Twitter's going to try to get rid of them. But they can't. But they ban people they don't like on the site. So, of course, those people are going to go to the alternatives. If you have a different opinion than what Twitter wants, they'll ban you. Literally. They'll ban you for saying phrases. That's what Twitter does, okay? Twitter basically decides, it basically, out of all of the big tech, is the worst of them all. Why? Because they're the ones who basically decide everything. They're the ones who decide everything for all the other big tech platforms. They're the gold standard because they're the greatest. Okay? And I'm glad to see that this site is finally dying. Okay? Twitter has been dying for a while. But Twitter's user growth is going away. No one wants to use Twitter and be canceled off it. No one wants to use a site to be canceled. Nobody. Absolutely nobody wants to be canceled. So no one's going to use Twitter. That's just the face of it. And that's basically it. Goodbye.